It's too bright to see what I'm recording, but hello, beautiful faces. Sky intelligence. Oh, okay, this is normal. It's like, who wants to work for the cartel and make $20 for driving by? Losers. Just losers. Same per class. It really bright. I cannot say a thing. Wow. Yeah, very bright. Okay. Oh, there. That's what I was trying to do. I can't see it. It's actually really cool. Because you'd have to be watching where you're driving in order to stay inside the lanes. Oh my God. I can't see a thing. Sorry, guys. So I'm just pointing it in directions, crossing my fingers. It works out. It does feel nice in the sun. I love it. I love it. I love it. I've been sequestered, isolated inside the house for 5 years. 9 years now since the days of Daniel began. The day my daughter was kidnapped. No joke. No exaggeration. This world has got some real sinister objectives. I've determined that the old world, those beautiful buildings, they're like government buildings now, but we're talking the stone buildings that are in these major regions, if you will, like a capital city is what it's been, like Chicago and Philadelphia, Paris, all these areas have these stone buildings that were built. And the explanation for the technology and the capabilities and the supposed man hours and the lack of tools, at least according to the narrative we've been told, it doesn't dial in. It doesn't dial in at all. And what does dial in, though, is this truth. It's like God did that. And it was so obvious to me when I thought about it, like, whoa, yeah, duh. I mean, that was God that made us, because God's the architect of everything. And it's like, it was just so eye-opening to contemplate that and to come to that conclusion, like, oh, duh. I mean, we're talking the cities were dialed in with infrastructure that ran on water. So it had like the ports, harnessing the water, the tide, harnessing the tide, and water, like through pressure and hydro and, all that stuff. It's the dynamics of the water. They had it all dialed in. We're talking the transportation, trains, fountains throughout the city, the plumbing, the sewage, all of it dialed in. Free energy, lighting for days. Look at those buildings. Everything was magnificent. That was heaven on earth. All we had to do was learn to work together. And I think that this is what the situation is, where it's like we're talking about my great-great-grandfather. This is the era of those orphans. They killed all the adults. They put all the women in insane asylums. They took all the children to rewrite history. Those are the guys that wrote the world wars, the rules of war, as a matter of fact, and they're still in the process of doing it. And they're just ding-dongs doing what they set out to do, which was what? Well, you can find the statues of the angels. This was when Christ reigned already. That's what brought those buildings. God does that throughout history. They built on top of each other because those are energy nodes where God dials everything in. It's how God dialed it all in, because you have to have the harmonics. They had the bells. They had these towers that would direct, they called it calming the wind. So it would, and they had them situated. Matter of fact, they built everything like computers our size. So they had the copper and the iron workings on the tops of the buildings, and they had it inside the walls. So what the civilization was an analog civilization that had it all dialed in with energy and frequencies and harmonics and acoustics and sound and pressure and all this awesome, super cool, Science 101 analog truth stuff. It's the awesome way to do it. So what are we dealing with? We're dealing with a digital parasite. Digital is the mimic. It's the mimic of analog, just like the devil is the mimic of God, just like the darkness is the mimic of light. It's the opposite. It's this absence is what the truth is. It's an absence, and that's what it all comes down to. So digital is this microscopic parasite level, trying to dial us in to the parasite level, but we're not parasites. They are. So we already had it already dialed in. Technology to the nines. We're talking already given to us. We're not supposed to be. God didn't abandon us. We're not out here having to suffer our way through to progress and all this nonsense they're telling us. And that's what comes into play when you realize that God built those buildings. So just look it up on YouTube. That's what I've been doing for the last couple of weeks, is watching all these videos, and there's these engineer in particular, and whether it's AI that put this information together, it's providing file numbers and names of the libraries to find this information. So it's, and if and when I'm able to send someone out there to verify that, that'll just be like even that much more evidence. But even if the AI came up with it, the truth of the matter is that I don't believe AI came up with it. We've seen those buildings. They're there. That's end of story. We know they're there. Okay, we're talking about bridges, right? They couldn't do it We couldn't do it today. So it's just not a joke. God did that. That's how God gives us paradise. Remember, it says in the beginning, God made paradise. Well, finish that sentence because the story starts with them as adults. So, I mean, God gave us all of it dialed in. And that's what represents God's love for us. You see, God wants us to know how to do things. And all we had to do was figure out how to reverse engineer it, to learn the mechanisms of what God was teaching us by giving it to us. God doesn't want us to be like, God's not got a vendetta or some weird chip on his shoulder that wants to just be like, suffer thy consequence until you can reach thy intelligence or some shit like that. No way. God wants us to enjoy life. And it's a simple thing about like the rules of thumb, which is be good to one another, have love, be love, be love's light, love lights, living, be the living light, yeah, the living light of love's laughter, living light of love's laughter, there you go, because laughter is a component. Oh my God, there's a bee. It's because I smell good. Well, that's a double-edged sword. But it is not going to bite me because he loves me. It's because I love it. He just wanted to smell me. Like, too bad there's no cats walking around. I love cats. I know. It's because I love cats, and I had cats, and I miss having a cat. That's when I'm outside, my cat's outside and rolling around being a cute, soft little fur face. And just, I love them. I'm going to have cats. Big ones. Big pumas or... Big pumas. I always think to myself that could be Alec, the spirit of Alec or any ancestor, so I don't want any animal. But it's a natural reaction to repel this bee trying to fly into my head. Well, okay. Yeah. What's going on here?